Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, this is ScrapMan bringing you another episode of Trailmakers, and we are back with another new update that adds a lot of content to the game, a lot of parts that is going to change the way things look and even the way things function. So what we're going to do in this episode is we're going to dive into the patch notes, do a brief overview of what is actually in this new update. Then we're going to see how that impacts creations we've built in past episodes, and then we're going to build a new creation. Or we're going to try to build a new creation. I don't have it completely fleshed out in my head on how it's going to work yet, but we're going to try to build a jetpack at the end of this because there's a jetpack looking seat, and I think it's going to be really cool to try out. Anyway, hopping over to the patch notes here, we've got a whole new type of game mode in Sandbox, the block hunt. It creates kind of like a race where you have to go from checkpoint to checkpoint, beacon to beacon in a certain amount of time, and then that gives you the reward. We've got two new races on Race Island, the Archipelago and the Grand Island Tour. Apparently these are water zones to encourage more of the use of the water parts that have been added in the previous updates. All right, here's the big stuff here. New blocks and changed blocks. So we have a Go-Kart Seat, which apparently looks like this. I guess it provides very little protection, but is super lightweight. So if you want to have those really fast vehicles for some of those races, you're probably going to want to be using that seat. We have an armored seat, which is apparently indestructible. You never get ejected from it, and it can't explode. Now, before you get all your hopes up, this does not mean we have submarine capabilities yet. I tested it out really quick before this video. You do get ejected in the water, but not when your vehicle explodes and things like that. So this does not allow for submarines yet. So I'm sorry, we're gonna have to hold off on submarines. I know you guys really want to see it, but trust me, when submarine seats are available, I'm making a video on that right away. All right, new cockpit. This seat disables tilting air control and has great aerodynamics. Now, this is going to be really good if you actually want to create realistic planes. Setting up your controls to WASD for all of your flaps and things like that, there's a conflict right now with the seat because when you press WASD, your seat actually tilts for you as well. And that actually doesn't always go the direction that you want it to go when it comes to maneuvering your aircraft. We have the operator seat. Now, this is the jetpack looking seat that I told you about that we're going to be using at the end of the episode to hopefully make a jetpack or something. All right, new wheels. We have a drag racing wheel, which has a high top speed and good traction on tarmac. I wonder how that compares to the racing wheel. We might need to do some tests with that. The truck wheel, which is good universal traction, but not built for speed. So I wonder how that's going to compare to the monster truck wheel. Does it have better traction than the monster truck wheel? And then we have the slim wheel, which is this thing right here. Very lightweight, but very fragile. All right, here's some really significant changes. Really significant. And this is going to completely change some of our creations in the past in the good way. So the piston. You can now toggle auto reset of the piston to its starting position when letting go of its activation button. So that means that the piston will do what you tell it to do when you press the button and then revert back to its original state when you let go of the button. And this is the thing I've been waiting for a long time. There's also a slider for setting the starting position, and this means that the piston doesn't have to be extended by default, which is great for most creations that I would want to make with the piston. Rotating servo, this is going to be huge for tank builds, tanks with turrets, or anything with turrets. You can now set the max angle to 360 degrees so you can go all the way around and set hold position. This is also on the steering hinge and the large hinge, the ability to set this hold position. I'm going to show you what this means, but basically it allows us to have a lot more precision when we're aiming things using these hinges and servos. Oh, and I almost missed. This one is also huge, especially for water vehicles. You can now build and repair your vehicle in the water. So this means no more dragging our vehicle from the land over to the water and building it on the land, etc. to test things out if we're doing a water vehicle. We can just build it in the water and drop it in the water. So that's great. All right, so that is the overview of the patch notes. Now let's get into actually experimenting with this stuff and seeing how it affects our builds. All right, here we are. We are back in the game, and we're going to start off with the tank because this is one of the more significant changes that I could see with the tank is the way that the rotating servos and the steering hinges now have this hold position option. So now here's the way that my tank previously worked. I would use Q and E to rotate the turret here, and it could only rotate about I think it was 160 or 170 degrees, so I couldn't actually keep turning it all the way around. And what would happen is I'm pressing Q right now to turn to the left, and if I let go of Q, you can see it returns back to the same position. So say I wanted to aim 45 degrees to the right and shoot, I would have to go like that, and then if I press the button and release the button, it would keep moving back and forth. I couldn't hold position. And the same thing goes with moving the steering hinge up and down. You can see that if I move it up, if I want to hold the position, I have to actually repeatedly press the space bar here to hold it up, and then it's not going to come back down. But now all of this has changed. If I go in here, I'm going to set the angle up to 360. I'm going to click this hold position icon. And now if I go into these steering hinges, I'm also going to set this hold position icon. All right, so now check it out. Look at this. I can stop it in whatever position I want. Not only can I stop it in whatever position I want, but I can have it go 360 all the way around for as long as I want it to by setting that angle. So now I should be able to aim up a little bit and just have it stop in that position. Oh, this is weird. When I press the space bar, it goes down a little bit first. Ready, space. And then it goes up. Whoop. Huh. When I go down, it doesn't have the same effect. I wonder if that's just because I have it set to the space bar. I wonder if there's a conflict happening with something here. That's interesting. I don't know why that's happening. But anyway, this is making things much easier. And actually, how is first person on this? Woo! First person is good on this thing. Look at that. Whoa. Are these projectiles slower? Whoa, and I'm also noticing the same thing with turning to the right. I'm pressing right. I'm pressing E. And you see that before it turns me to the right, it turns me to the left first. Which is an interesting effect. But when I go to the left, it doesn't do that. So there's obviously a bug with the new changes that I'm sure they're going to have worked out very soon. Oh, and now it's actually... Oh, now it's doing it again. It's very intermittent. So I'm sure that they're going to fix that once they're aware of it. But yeah, it looks like this is like a mortar now. I wonder if they actually changed the functions of the guns. I didn't see that in the patch notes. Let me look over it really quick. All right, I didn't see anything in the patch notes about the about these being changed. It may have just been something that they forgot to note. But also one thing I noticed when I was switching camera angles, check out, this isn't actually the legit first person. This is like in front of your seat first person. But look at this. Does this look intense or what? Like, we can't see anything, but I actually really like the way that it looks inside here. All right, so that is some of the major changes that affects how tanks work. Now let's look at some of the other changes. All right, we're gonna spawn in my monster truck that I built. Actually, I built this thing before the early access, I think, came out. So this thing was built before the steering hinges even had angles on them. This thing is a very, very old creation, but we're gonna try to test out now the difference between these wheels and then the new large wheels. So we need to find... I wonder, is there like a spot that we can really test this out? Is this an area? We could probably do it here, and then we could just see how far up this thing might be able to go. So we're going to have this one, and what I'm going to do actually is spawn in a second one. There we go. So now on the second one, I'm going to replace these wheels with the new monster truck. Actually, I don't even think they're monster truck wheels. I just think they're, what are they called? Truck wheel. This is monster truck wheel. This is truck wheel. So we're just going to see what the difference is, I guess. All right, here we go. So these wheels definitely look a little bit less beefy than the monster truck wheels, which makes sense. Truck versus monster truck. What do you expect? So the question is, what is the traction difference? Actually, let's look at the description difference first. So we got very heavy wheel with great traction, made for traction and off-road driving. So I'm not sure what to expect as far as the difference here. I'm going to go completely based off of pure traction. No velocity is going to be factored here. We're just going to go as slow as we can until we reach our stopping point of how high we can go. And it looks like that was about it with these wheels. Let's try this again. Come on. Come on. I think I just hit it. All right, that is not a lot. Now I'm hoping that these tire tracks will actually stay here, because now I'm gonna get out of the way. All right, here we go. Here we go. Let's see if this does any better. Oh, interesting. This is actually not what I expected. It looks like the monster truck wheels do have better traction than these wheels. So I think this might be like a middle of the road between the monster truck wheels and like the normal wheels. You know what? We can actually test that out right now. Let's go ahead and replace these wheels with the next level down wheels for traction, which are going to be really small in comparison. Average traction on these things. Look how small these wheels are. This is ridiculous. Oh, this looks so ridiculous and derpy. All right, here we go. Look at this. This doesn't look right at all. Watch this have even better traction. Okay, yeah, we're not even getting anywhere from here. Like, yeah. Oh, well, if we have some momentum, but once we lose momentum, we just can't, yeah, we can't even go. All right, so up next, I want to test the drag racing wheels versus the racing wheels. And the best way to test that, I think, is on the drag strip. All right, here we are on the drag strip, and I have one of my old drag racing cars here, and I'm not going to use the thrusters at all. I'm just going to use pure gas power and see what the difference is between these racing wheels that were already on it and then the next set of racing wheels. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to wait until number 1 happens. I'm not going to try to like 1, go. I'm not going to try to like beat the gate or anything, and we're just going to see how fast this gets us versus how fast the drag racing wheels gets us. And this feels super slow. How many engines do I have? I have 2 engines on this thing. That explains it. All right, 158 was our max speed, and we did it in 14.9 seconds. So remember, 158 max speed. Now let's go ahead and go over to the drag racing wheels. Ho! Ho! So here's the difference. Holy cow. I did not expect them to be that big. Here's the difference between the wheels. That is huge. Wow, these things are big. I feel like those should be like back wheels only almost. You know what I mean? We should try that after this. All right. Wow, look at these wheels. I feel like they're almost like too big. I don't know what to expect with this. All right, here we go. And go. I feel like they're a lot heavier, so they take more acceleration. But let's see what happens here. 130. This is not what I was expecting. We are not reaching nearly the top speed that we were getting. 136. What? 17 seconds versus 14 seconds. 136 versus 158. So these are not doing much good. And it could be an engine power thing. Because here's what I'm thinking. Racing wheel, better traction on tarmac, high top speed. Drag racing wheel, high top speed, good traction on tarmac. I feel like they're almost the same. So now what happens if we put these wheels in front? Oh, now this is starting to look like a dragster. All right, here we go. Go. I don't know what to expect. I really don't know what to expect. I mean, it's probably going to be middle of the ground, right? Yeah, we're like middle of the ground now. All right, I want to try to figure out the utility of these drag racing wheels. I really feel like they can go faster, and I think it depends on how much power we're going to have. So this was built with a core limit. So we're going to get rid of the core limit. We're going to put a bunch of engines on here, and we're going to see if we can actually find a difference between the 2 wheels other than just the weight that they're doing. All right, so I've added a ton of engines to this thing. This thing is now 33 power cores. So we're going to see how this does just pure engine power with these wheels, and then we're going to see how it affects it with the drag racing wheels. I can't even adjust myself here. 1, go. All right, much faster already. We're at 179. And it looks like we are maxing out at 179. I really feel like these engines, this might be where we're seeing the difference. The engines, I think, might be limited by the wheels at this stage. I don't know. 12.9 seconds, 179. Let's replace it with drag racing wheels. Actually, you know what? We're gonna do middle of the ground here. We're gonna do just the back wheels first, and then we're gonna do both. So is this gonna be faster? 179 was our top speed. Let's see how this works. Go! Whoa, look, here we are. This is where the difference comes in. You need enough power to actually let the wheels be able to do the work for you. 189 now with just back wheels having the drag racing wheels. Now let's do all drag racing wheels and see if this is even more powerful. All right, here it goes. 200, we broke 200. All right, so it looks like it just comes down to having enough power to power the wheels in the first place. And then once you can overcome the weight of the wheels, then these wheels have a higher top speed than the racing wheels. So that is what these are. That is what you really need, is just enough power to power these things. All right, I'm glad we put that test there. Oh, and really quick, I wanted to show you guys, here is the small tail fin. Look at how small that thing is compared to like these, or even compared to like this. Look at that. So it takes up a 1x2 space instead of a 2x4 like this one, or a 1x4 like this one. So I'm curious how much of an effect that's gonna have on certain aircraft. Ooh, actually, while we're here, I wanna see, we're at what, 2.0 something with the drag racing wheels? Now, what are these wheels gonna be like? Look at this looks so derpy. Go! Oh, the traction is way less on these things. 150. Wow, these things are terrible. We've reached our max speed. The engines are not able to perform at their best right now. All right, I'm really like, I'm really confused at like what the use of these wheels would be though. Like, aren't they gonna like destroy themselves? Oh boy. Like they're gonna destroy themselves super quick, aren't they? Like here, let's just drive it into the wall here. Yep, there it goes. Okay. Okay, up next, let's have a look at the different types of seats. And let's see how they look in here. So we have the stock seat. This is the VIP seat. These two were in the game before, but now we have the armored seat. This thing is indestructible, apparently. We will never get ejected from it unless you're in water. They don't say that, but I found out the hard way. All right, so let's just insert this thing in here, and we're just going to crash full speed. And when I say full speed, I mean drag racing wheel full speed into the end of this area, and we're gonna see how the seat survives. Because remember, this thing is surrounded by explosive engines. All right, we're gonna bypass the race so that way we don't have the overlay coming up to interrupt our crash here. Oh, this is so much faster now. Except the wheels are very droopy in the front. All right, here we go. Here we go. Head on crash. That was not at all what I expected. I wanted to explode. Let me explode. What is this? All right. We're gonna keep going. We're gonna try to, we're gonna try to get ourselves to explode here. Let's see if we can slow down. I have no turning. I'm at the whims of wherever these wheels take me. We're gonna see if we can back right up. Hopefully our engine will hit something here. Well, there you have it. Our seat has survived. The indestructible armored seat. It looks super cool. I love the way this thing looks. All right, so in addition to that seat, we have the cockpit seat, which looks like this. Oh, is this bigger? Huh, that is interesting. The cockpit seat is actually bigger than the other seats. So it looks super cool though. That's a cockpit right there. That is a cockpit seat. So the only difference with that is it doesn't, your seat tilting doesn't apply, but it almost looks like it should be waterproof. Let's go ahead and it explodes. Unlike the armored seat, that's for sure. Wow. Okay, let's drive this thing into the water. Imagine if this is actually waterproof. Nope, not waterproof. But you know what we can do now? We can build in the water, and just to prove to you guys that the armored seat, despite saying you will never get ejected from it, there you go. See? Automatic ejection. I'm not pressing anything. So to all of you that I know are going to ask for submarines because of this update, there's your answer. All right, and then we have the Go-Kart Seat, which is apparently really fragile. But actually, it looks good for the drag racer. Look at that. All right, and it exploded. But yeah, it doesn't look too bad. It doesn't. I really like the way it looks. I mean, it definitely fits a go-kart if we were to make like a go-kart or something. And of course, it explodes like nothing. Even though none of the engines explode. Oh, that's interesting. Even though none of the engines exploded, the seat actually exploded from the impact there. So that is an interesting thing. I don't think the other seats do that. Like if I put the normal seat back in here and I drive into the wall again, I think the engines actually kind of have to explode. Oh, I guess not. Never mind. I was wrong about that. All right, and then the last seat is this thing, the operator seat, which doesn't really make sense at all for this vehicle, which is why we're going to end the episode off with building a jetpack with this thing. But let's just take a look at how it looks. Look at that. Is that cool or what? Is that cool or what? Now, how's the impact? Oh, okay, we're good so far. Oh, boy. Oh, okay. There it goes. All right, so let's head back over into sandbox mode, and we're going to see what kind of jetpack we can make. If we can make... I just don't know how I'm going to control it, to be honest. We're going to have to use the tilting for sure. All right, here we are in sandbox mode. Let's get our operator seat out. Oh, look at this. Look at this. All right, now, how to make it fly. So here's my main concern. The obvious thing is to just take a thruster and strap it to the back here. But now the issue is going to be weight distribution, right? Because like if we just do this, ready? There we go. We have a jetpack. Success, mission success. All right, we'll see you in the next episode. No, I'm just kidding. We actually have to make this thing work. Now, yeah, so the seat tilting does still work. Like if I try to tilt myself back and go up, it helps. And now we can tilt like this. So we have our basic controls, except The tilting is roll. We have roll and pitch, right? I think it's roll and pitch, but we don't have yaw. And yaw would be really useful. And yaw actually is not a difficult problem to solve. If you put the jetpack under there, and then we just put this right up here, we can actually just put this rotating or helicopter engine for yaw. And we can use that for Q and E. Let's see if that's the right direction. Q, nope, opposite. E and Q. So now we have our turning left and right, but the problem right now is our center of thrust is behind our center of mass. So we have to fix that problem. So this seat weighs 30 kilograms. So theoretically, if I put 30 kilograms behind this thruster, we should be pretty even. So now what weighs, this weighs 2.5 kilograms. No way that's gonna help us out. What weighs 30 kilograms that isn't gonna like do much for us? All right, well, this thing weighs 25 kilograms. So I think a combination with this, and then we can also, we need something to attach it right here. It might actually kind of look like a feature or a function of the jetpack. Like this is where some of the power is coming from, not like the thrust, but I don't know. There's some type of electronical components happening back here to make this happen. I was trying to find something small and compact that weighs a lot, and it's hard to find that really. So if we do that, and then we add some aesthetic parts to cover the last 5 kilograms, we should have something that looks okay. Oh! The symmetry thing worked. So normally in the previous version, if I was to take these 2 parts and then paste them under here, I would have to turn them both around. But now it kind of predicts that that's what I wanted, which is great when I want it to happen, but I'm not sure how it would be in the event that I don't want it to happen. All right, so now let's see how this thing feels. Theoretically, we should be pretty even. Okay, maybe not. Why? Why not though? Why is that the case? It actually kind of confuses me a little bit, because this is like 25 kilograms. This is 30 kilograms. Let's try something different here. Let's try a completely different design of the jetpack, and it's even going to give us some more control, or some more power. Not necessarily more control, but more power. So kind of similar to how an actual jetpack looks in like common knowledge is you have 2 jets on your jetpack. So we're going to see if this helps us out, because we're actually moving the center of thrust closer to the center of mass. So let's just see how this fares in comparison to the previous version. All right. Oh, look at that. Much more easy to handle. Much more easy to handle. And then we have our turning. Oh, we pretty much have it. Like literally, we pretty much have it right here. So the only thing right now is the tilt doesn't work very well. Like tilting left and right. Actually, it's not too bad. We just have to counteract the forward force. All right, so I'm gonna add a little bit more weight to the back, and we're gonna see if we can balance this thing out just a little bit. Oh, that wasn't the smoothest landing. It just detached from our seat. We still survived. That was great. All right, check this out. Is this starting to look like a jetpack or what? So I added these. It landed on top of me. No, stop that. Stop. It repairs it on top of me. So I added those tail fins, so I'm hoping that that's going to make our upwards trajectory a little bit straighter. I don't know how it's going to affect our turning, though. Okay, that didn't really help much at all now, did it? Huh. I think it made things worse. I think it actually made things a little bit worse. All right, I think ultimately we just have more control without them, so we're just gonna stay without them. But we're still having the issue of tilting forward. I'm trying my best to keep the center of mass even on either side, but it's really not easy. I would like to be able to move the thrusters in just by 1 here. So by using this block here, I think this might work. So now, if anything, we might be a little bit back heavy. All right, let's figure it out. Oh, we're back heavy now. Interesting development. All right, so with that, let's see if we can just shift all of our weight forward a little bit. We're gonna delete this whole thing, and we're gonna change all of these to be the smaller version. So now all of our weight should have shifted forward just a little bit. It's looking pretty good, pretty compact. Now let's hope that this is more even. So it still wants to tilt back just a little bit. It's not too bad. It's really not too bad. Let's see if we can go for like a nice soft landing here. Whoop. Dang it, almost nailed it. All right, so here we go. Let's see if this helps. Nope. Oh, wait. Whoa, we're having the reverse effect. We're having the reverse effect now. Here, let's go back. Check it out. Now I'm just gonna press the space bar and not press anything. So we go forward at first, and then once we gain speed, then we go backwards. And now we're evening out. What? This is kind of working. I honestly think we might have a jetpack now. I have to see what first person looks like. Okay, whoa, whoa. Okay, this is first person. This is actually different than what I expected. Whoop. Actually, this is even closer to first person. So that's not obstructing my view as much as I thought. And actually, it gives me a reference to where I'm aiming or facing. That's interesting. All right, I need to slow down the yaw a little bit. Look at that. Woo! Are you getting dizzy yet? Oh boy, I'm getting dizzy. Okay, let's see if we can land somewhere. Oh, this looks beautiful. Look at that. All right, let's tilt back. There we go. I'm gonna get out of first person now. Vehicle camera. Raise the camera orbital. Oh. Probably would help to look where you're going rather than changing your camera view. All right, I think this is the most optimized state right here. Yeah, like you can see it evens itself out when I just hold the space bar. All right, and it even seems to have like a natural tilt forward. Like it evens out like this. See, it just, I wasn't pressing anything. It just evens itself out with like a forward kind of trajectory, which is awesome. And then we can turn it at will. Oh, this is actually a bad, that did not go the way I thought it was going to. All right, let's use that to turn. I could probably lessen the, yeah, I can lessen the intensity of that. You can fine tune it into pretty much its optimal form here. All right, there we go. Now the turning, the yaw is much more controllable, a lot less extreme. And I think we have our optimized jetpack here. Like, I don't think I can get much better. It's even got skulls on it. Like, and those skulls are actually necessary. Believe it or not, those skulls are actually necessary. So I guess the final thing to do is drive this thing through a hoop of fire, or fly it through a hoop of fire rather, and then land it softly and successfully on its bottom. All right, there we go. Hoop of fire success. Now I'm gonna go for oh no! I lost my control there. There we go. We're flying through the hoop of fire and through the canyon. There we go. Big finale. Big finale. Through the hoop of fire like it was nothing. And then I'm going to land on this rock right here. Because this is totally going to be easy and doable. It's not even a flat surface. How am I supposed to do this? How am I supposed to do this? All right, come on. Come on. Come on. Nailed it. I might have cheated a little bit. Might have cheated just a little bit, but we've successfully landed right side up. And I am super proud of this thing. I'm gonna save this thing before I forget because this is actually a working jetpack and it's super compact and it's like relatively balanced and it's got skulls on it and I just like it. All right, so I hope you guys have a good overview of what is new in this update. Like there's a lot of really cool stuff. So with that, let me know if there's any ideas that have been inspired by this update that you'd like to see on this channel. I'll look at the comments, see if anything sounds good and doable, and we'll try our best to do it. I mean, I just had to obviously make a jetpack after seeing this update. And it's kind of fun to just barrel through the air and crash into the ground, even just like that. All right, well, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss future episodes. This has been ScrapMan, and I'll see you next time. Bye.